Do you know what nobody tells you about leadership advice? It doesn't work until you have a system to implement it. You can watch all the videos you like about difficult conversations or how to get your team more accountable. But if you don't know when you're going to do these things or how they fit into your actual week, nothing changes. I learned this the hard way in my corporate life when I was managing a massive integration project. I was asking for advice, I was reading books. I kind of knew all the right things to do. I just had no idea how to make them happen consistently. So today I want to share the missing piece that makes leadership advice actually stick. I'm Helen and I help managers build the skills and the systems to confidently lead. Most managers I work with are super smart, incredibly capable people. They are all consuming leadership content. They know they should be doing more coaching, more strategic thinking, but they're still bouncing from one urgent email to the next, and they have that tight feeling in their chest growing stronger as they're watching their actual priorities get pushed back to tomorrow again. And I know this so well. You're dealing with your team's needs. You're chasing the deliverables. You're firefighting any day-to-day issue that's coming up. And even if you block out time to think or plan, another short-term issue pops up and that slot disappears. Because the problem isn't your knowledge, the problem isn't your intention. The problem is you're trying to layer leadership on top of all the other stuff you're already doing, commonly known as work. And that just never works. But wait, before I tell you the solution, let me ask you something. When did you last give yourself an uninterrupted hour to plan out your priorities? I ask this in workshops often, and the answer is normally not very often or quite a long time ago. And the result? Most of us spend too much time on what is urgent and not enough time on what is important. But here's the thing, without a system, you're always going to default to urgent. What I'm talking about here isn't more complexity, it's actually structured simplicity. Think of it like this. You wouldn't run a business without systems. So why would you run your own leadership without them? And this is where your manager operating system comes in. And it has two essential parts, a thinking and planning system and an aligning system. It's a set of rhythms, tools, and habits that help you manage your time, your team, and your own thinking. When I finally cracked this, I expected it would need hours every day. But here's what really shocked me. The managers who seemed effortlessly organized, they weren't working more hours. They were just working differently. In fact, they were working 22 hours a quarter differently because, amazingly, that's all it takes. Let me break that down for you. There are 520 working hours in a typical quarter, giving just 22 of those to focused leadership planning. It's about 4% of your time. And yet, it's the part that makes everything else so much more effective. And here's how it would work. One 90-minute focus block per week, plus 1 2-hour quarterly planning session. That's 13 times 1.5 hours, that's 19.5 hours. Add in your quarterly reset and that gets you to 22 hours. Now, I know that some of you are already thinking, Helen, I can't possibly find 90 minutes in a week. And I've got to be honest with you about something, because here is the hard facts of this. If you can't find 90 minutes in a week to lead, that's not a time issue, it's a prioritization issue. You have got the time. It's just currently being eaten up by reactive management. And this is exactly what this system helps you fix. Your weekly 90 minutes isn't just about planning tasks. You're thinking about your work in a broader sense. You're reviewing those priorities. You could be spotting blockers and thinking what you could do about it. You're thinking about your people, planning perhaps one-to-ones or coaching moments, thinking about their development. You're thinking about your stakeholders. Who do you need to connect with? What relationships need attention? And you're thinking about your own development. What leadership skill are you working on this quarter? Without this time, you're just reacting and managing the work. You're not leading it. But Planning alone isn't enough. You need those moments to align with your team and stakeholders. And this is where the alignment system comes in. And it starts with regular one-to-ones. And I mean really protecting them, not cancelling them when something urgent comes up. It's about your team meetings that actually work and move work forward. A way of working in your team where everyone knows how you work together as a team. And it's about your stakeholder check-ins and building relationships before you need them. When you have this rhythm in place, everything changes. Instead of that Sunday night dread, scrolling through emails, feeling overwhelmed, you will know exactly what you're focusing on tomorrow. Instead of that awkward appraisal where you're both trying to remember what happened 6 months ago, you'll sit down already knowing it's going to be an opportunity to celebrate progress and maybe a great coaching moment. Just last month, a manager I work with told me, Helen, for the first time in years, I actually feel like I'm leading instead of just getting through. That's the power of having a system. You shift from reacting to your day-to-day to leading it. And the difference is this: managers react to work, leaders create conditions for great work to happen. So, where do you start? This week, I want you to do 3 things. First, look at your diary. Block out 90 minutes. If you can't fit it in this week, put it in for next week. Treat it like your most important meeting, because it is. Choose a time that you are least likely to be interrupted. For me, it's either on a Friday or very first thing on Monday morning, depending on my calendar. The important thing is to create a rhythm and a routine. Second, protect it. This isn't time away from your team. This is how you become a better leader for your team. Planning isn't indulgent. It's the most strategic move you can make as a manager and a leader. And third, remember what this time is for. It's not about doing those normal tasks on your to-do list. It's about thinking through your team's goals and deliverables, your people, your stakeholders, and your own personal development. All the key parts you need to lead well. The best leaders I know don't just react, they build these systems to keep them focused and effective. And when I learned this, seriously, it was such a difference to the way in which I led my team. Because what we do then is we give ourselves permission to think, to plan, and then we will lead from the front instead of from behind. Now, I'm on a mission to help 1 million managers build these systems because, and this is so important, when leaders have clarity, teams thrive. When teams thrive, workplaces become energizing instead of draining. And that ripple effect, that's how we change the workplace in the future. Now, I know some of you might be thinking this all sounds great, but what exactly do I do in that 2-hour quarterly planning session? Well, that's exactly what I cover in the next video. And I'll walk you through the complete quarterly planning process, step by step, including some of the questions to ask yourself and how to turn those 2 hours into your secret weapon in staying ahead. Check it out here. I'll see you there.